All right, family, shalom, shalom. Want to say Salaki. I know we got on here an hour later than what we intended to, but Salaki about that. Just bear with us through the spirit. But just want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the Most High God for another Think About It Thursday. Most High willing, you all will be edified. Those who are joining on the live, and also those who will watch. After we finish, after the live is done with. Most High when you all are edified. Now, I'm in the process of trying to pull up this video. I'm in the process of trying to pull up this video, and let me see, because today's topic is plant gardens, right? So we want to go into a little bit about planting gardens and just getting an understanding about what it is to be a planter, what it is to be a farmer, going into farming a little bit. I want to pull up this video real quick. If y'all can bear with me for a quick second. Um, that's not what I'm trying to go to. Let's see. Go to the channel. It should be a quick farming video that I want to play, and I'm just having a tough time finding it real quick. Like, not lives, playlist. Okay. Okay, got it, got it. So I got the video real quick. Like we said, man, all praises, glory, and honor be to the Most High God. His brother Yeshaya on here, waiting for the brothers Dunal and Azrael to get on. But like we said, we giving all glory for another Think About It Thursday. Salakia, Salakia, we're late on here, and I know I sound kind of far away, but like I said, just bear with us, man. But we got a good lesson coming for you all tonight. Just giving you something to think about. Lesson being led by the brother Azrael, but he asked me to play this brief clip. Um, Let me make sure I'm going to play the right one because he asked me to play this brief farming clip, and I want to show you all. I want to show you all something for the video. So maybe it's this one. So let me just go ahead and share my screen. Share screen real quick. Window. Share. Hey, somebody can put a thumbs up in the comment section and let me know if you can hear. All right, so the sister said we can't hear. So let me try it this way, right? Let me stop sharing real quick. Uh, Present, share screen. Let me see. It does not give me the option to share. Let's try it now. Okay, let's try it now. Let's see if it works now. Goodness gracious. I am not sure what is going on with the audio. Uh, I'm not exactly sure why it's not picking up the audio for it. Let me see. So let me once again stop the screen share. Let me try to see if I can. Maybe it might help. Okay, so let me do it like this, right? Okay, let me do it like this. YouTube, YouTube. Um, let's see. Let's see. Switch account. Let me just try from here. Tuesday's child. Tuesday's child, right? Okay. So let me try it this way. Let me try it this way. Share tab audio. Okay, so let me try it now.
Hello, hi.
All
Welcome
right.
back.
Third time's a charm. Let's see if
Today,
this works.
I'm going to be, besides sweating, I'm going to be potting my apricot tree that just arrived, my grapevines, and my blackberries. So, uh, it's a beautiful sunny day. It's not even spring yet, but I'm already sweating. It's hot just walking around. Lord only knows what the summer is going to bring. But, anyways, let's get to it.
Hello, this is Rafa. Welcome to another page in my homesteading diary.
I have had these way too long. When I first got them, they were just branches with no greenery on them at all. I think I may have purchased these about 2 months ago, and they've kept this well in the bags. But some of the leaves are starting to look a little wilted or whatever. Something's going on, as you can see, like with this leaf right here. So I figure it's time for me to pot them so that I don't lose them. Today I received my apricot tree. Some people say apricot. I usually say apricot. And I'm excited. I don't remember where I ordered it from. So I will leave. It's not on the label out there. It's a barcode. So I will leave in the description box below the company that I purchased the apricot tree. It's already it's grafted from a mature tree. So I should be seeing some fruit within 1 or 2 years, possibly even this year. Um, Excited about that. In the description box, I will also list all the amazing benefits of apricots and the seeds, especially the apricot seeds. You're going to be amazed. I'd like to thank Simply Rakita for gifting me with this wonderful sun hat. It's definitely doing the job.
Shalom.
Shalom. Is this the right video?
Um,
If you say no, then I'm gonna put my beard out because I done had a couple audio tribulations.
nah, that's not the right video, but I just wanted to, you could you could you could stop that. I really just wanted to play the intro to the video when she's like planning and messing with the soil and stuff. Nothing too serious or anything like that. Just kind of get us in the mood of plant gardens, right? Which was a commandment, right? For those that don't know, that's my mother. She has a planting or a homesteading gardening channel. She likes to be dealing with herbs, right? She, I guess, aspires to be a modern day apothecary or apothecary. I think that's how you say it, right? The Bible speaks about apothecaries in the Bible, people that kind of use the herbs in the ground to to for health benefits, right? The organic physicians, if have you, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, think about it Thursday, right? So that's it on that video, you know. I knew since we were just getting back from working out, it would serve as a nice little buffer. Yeah, man, getting into it, first and foremost, want to give all glory and praise to the Most High God by the way of his Son, who is an instrument of salvation for the nation. And he also is our mediator, right? Let me pull up.
And while you doing that, you want to say, make sure y'all, you know, give the sister a follow, because it's actually great information on this channel. You know, I wasn't much into being an apothecary or, you know, taking care of gardening myself, but, you know, over time, looking at a lot of the videos that the sister uploads, you know, she definitely brings a lot of valid information forward to help you, you know, get into starting your own garden, right? Because we know there's going to be times coming where, and we're going to need to rely on our own resources to be sufficient, right? And even though you may not have a passion for it, you may seem like it's boring. Once you get into watching it and you actually take notes to understand, and once you start looking at these things and looking at, you know, how to take care of gardens and things of that nature, you'll realize that it's a lot simpler. And honestly, you know, you might enjoy doing it when it comes, when it boils down to it, right? It might be a good stress reliever for you. Some people who may struggle with certain things about how to relieve stress, hey, this might be a great stress reliever for a lot of people in this truth, right? A lot of people in the world, honestly, you know, just taking care of a garden, growing your own food. It may be a long process, but at the end of the day, it's nothing like when you actually work for something and you eat the fruits thereof, right? So, like you know, go ahead.
No, that was a mighty point. You know, we're living in these end times, these last days. So, you know, definitely we got to tap into the way of our ancestors, right? Not trying to sound cringy like the brothers that, you know, prayed to their ancestors and all of that. But, you know, our ancestors, man, they were tapped in. They was tapped into the Most High God, and the Most High God had them do husbandry, had them use the land like he gave to Adam and Eve, and he gave them dominion over all the animals, like Cain and Abel, right? Cain was over the animals, the livestock. Abel was over it gardening, right? And things of that nature, right? That's us. So we got to kind of tap into those things, because ultimately moving away from it was our demise, right? Quick fixes come with what? Side effects. And we reap the curses heavily. But anyway, getting into it, man, I want to go first to, let me share my screen real quick.
No, I'm not going to read for you, brother, so don't ask.
You good?
Just messing with
you. You good, man. I know you broke your headset. Some brothers in this truth, man, just the Most High God blessed them with a big head, and they just bust out of every headset that they have. So, you know, I understand. I understand that fully, man. Everybody has their lot. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna read this Psalms 127, verses 1 through 3. We're gonna stop at verse 3.
All right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 127, starting at verse number 1. And it says, a song of degrees for Solomon. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it.
Right, stop right there. Right, so so this is talking spiritually, right? And physically, right? David wanted to build a house for the Lord. But what did the Lord say? The Lord said, you're not going to build it. But guess what? I'm going to bless you and your seed, and your son, Solomon, he'll build the house. But that was still the Most High God using Solomon to build the house. Because where did Solomon get the blueprint? He got it from his dad, David. But where did David get the blueprint? He got it from the Lord, right? The location, they got it from the Lord, right? The details, they got it from the Lord. The Lord built that house, even though man put their hand to it. So except the Lord build the house, right? You could try to build your own house. You could try to build your own temple, right? I was watching a video, you know what I'm saying, with Bishop Nathaniel going into a video and some history into the ancient Mayans and Aztecs. And he was saying how they went off as a people, right? At the same time as he was getting on his IT people, you know, because he always doing that. But he was going into the Mayans and the ancient Aztecs, how they started building temples, right, for their own purposes, right? Sacrificing humans, right? And other gods and things of that nature, right? You could build your own house, your own temple, but it'll be laboring, like it says right here, in vain, right? Keep going.
Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh, but in vain.
Right? In vain. All of that is to no effect, to no purpose, right? Read this next verse.
Verse number 2. Verse number 2. It says, it is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so he giveth his beloved sleep.
Right. What is this talking about? It's talking about all of us that want to do things on our own. Hey, look, now through much tribulation we have to go through to get to the kingdom. I agree. But the Most High God, he will send the spirit of excellence on you like Daniel. That's what we should be praying every day when we go to work. Put a spirit of excellence on me. So things that your boss might put on your plate that you think is too hard, the Most High God make it easy, right? That promotion that you thought was far away, it comes soon, right? That spirit of favor that he put on Joseph, right? Joseph went from being in the prison house to being connected with the guards letting him do what he want in there, right? I know of a brother that was in prison, that was in the truth, and guess what? That one of his guards was in the truth, and he was able to do what he wanted. You know what I'm saying? So it's possible that spirit of favor, that spirit of excellence will be on you to guess what? To get you the needs that you need in this world, in Babylon. And that's pretty much the crux of the matter of this video, right? God will provide, right? You just got to keep his commandments. But this right here is talking about what? Those people that's trying to build multiple LLCs and multiple S corps and multiple things. They losing sleep at night, got bags under their eyes, but they making that Instagram live, right? Those people that always trying to make the most bread they can. You know what I'm saying? Those people that's doing it for vain reasons, so they can look good in front of other people, so they can inspire other people because they're the GOAT, right? Because they started their entrepreneurship. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with entrepreneurship at all, but the Most High God gives his kids rest and sleep. You don't have to rise up early and go to sleep late trying to make sure your LLC is bringing enough money for you, and then making another LLC, making sure that one is passive income, right? The Most High God's going to provide for you, and he gives us sleep and rest. Stop working on the Sabbath day because you think that you're doing well by making extra money, right? Sidebar. That was a sidebar. Let's go to verse 3.
Verse number 3. And after this, can I bring out a precept?
Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Open forum. At work today, I like the way one of my account executives put it. He said, when I do these lessons and these demos, I like it to be an open forum, right? And that's kind of how we are, you know what I'm saying? So it's an open forum. You got something to say? Go ahead and say it. Same with the comment board. If you got something to say, go ahead and say it.
Right. So this is Psalms 127 and verse number 3. It says, lo, children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I had made this lesson probably last month, right? And I forgot how deep these precepts were, right? We just went into building a house, and now we're going into the fruit of a womb, right? This is important to know for when we go to Jeremiah 29, right? Because he tells us to what? He tells us to build houses and plant gardens. And here we're seeing the spiritual purpose, right? The fruit of the womb is his reward. Man, go ahead and bring out your precept, what you had.
Con, if you can, go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 43 and verse number 30.
It's all right.
Right.
Con, man, that's a mighty point. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can hear me?
Con.
I was having some technical difficulties. I had to start my computer over like 3 times, but
so like you said, Sirach, what?
43 and 30.
But that's a mighty point, man. We got to keep the main thing, no matter what the society has put on us, right? It says children is a reward, right? And a lot of times people look at children as a burden. You know what I'm saying? We try not to, but the cares of the world, the burdens of the world make it seem like having children can be a burden sometimes, right? And people be waiting for the right time and all of this stuff. All of this stuff is new, right? All that stuff came about when the Western world mindset started setting in on our people. We got to remember that these things that are natural that come by nature, these are rewards from the Father, right? We watched a video earlier. I don't know if you play, which video did you play earlier today?
Me?
Did y'all play a video yet?
Yeah, I played a part of mom's video.
Con. I sent the brother a video from IUIC. Yeah. They had their radio radio thing, man. Shout out to IUIC, man. They really getting into all types of avenues, you know what I'm saying, trying to spread this truth, man, and it's really getting to our people. But one thing I will say is that the lady, she was on there on the podcast, and she was talking about how she has 13 kids, right? And at first it's like, dang, yeah, 13 kids. But it was an inspiration to me, because I was like, man, the more the merrier, right? That's what the Most High kind of put us on here to do, is to procreate, you know what I'm saying? And it's a reward, bring forth 13 lives into this world, man. That's majestic. So we got to keep the main thing. And like the brother said, man, we got to, plant ye gardens. We got time. I think the title of their video was have children before it's too late. Get married and have children before it's too late. Same thing here, man. Before it's too late, man, you want to get these rewards while you can. Stop living your life in locked up, in the woulda, coulda, shouldas.
Right. And like you said, it used to be you said it's majestic now, but back then, man, it used to be a normal thing. Right. So we got to get back, like the brother said, like the brother Prime says, Coach Prime, keep the main thing the main thing. But this is Ecclesiasticus 43:30. When ye glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as ye can. For even yet will he far exceed.
Right. Stop right there. When you think about it like this, I heard the brother, it's in the song title, man. And the brother, y'all were all from Sons of Thunder. The elder, y'all were all from Sons of Thunder, man. Shout out to the Sons of Thunder Israelites. But when it comes to that, man, when I heard that little insert in the beginning of Hezekiah's song, it was mighty, because anything that you do, man, you got to glorify the Lord and exalt him as often as you can, right? As much as you can in everything that you do. Going back to Psalms chapter 127, it's vain for you to stay up late and wake up early trying to make sure your bag is secure. If you glorify the Lord in everything that you would do, and he will give you that rest that you need. I hate when people play these clips of these podcasters, these entrepreneurs, self-made millionaires, and all they doing is saying, you can't sleep 8 hours a day and be a self-made millionaire. You can't sleep. Hey, I seen Steve Harvey say that one time, and I want to yank the mustache off his face. No disrespect to the brother Steve Harvey, though, but I'm saying that as in people in this world set up in this society, they make it seem as if you have to work your behind off and get minimal rest to be able to succeed. And that's not how we find true happiness. That's not how we achieve true success. It's by going to bed at 2 a.m. and waking right back up at 5, 6 in the morning, right? That's not how you achieve true success, right? You're going to only achieve true success by keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, just like we talked about at our Purim ceremony on Friday, just like we talked about a little bit yesterday, as in, yeah, I'm an Israelite, now what? The law, statutes, and commandments are the only thing that's going to make you successful, right? That's why I wanted the brother to read this, is to say, look, anything that you do, when you glorify the Most High, exalt him as much as you can. You can never glorify the Most High enough. You can never put the Most High in the game plan enough. The Most High should be the game plan. How do I get the bag of pleasing the Most High is what it should be. Not how do I please the Most High in order to get the bag, right? We got to reverse our way of thinking. If you can finish this out for me real quick, and I'll yield.
And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength and be not weary, for you can never go far enough. Just
like I just said, you can never do too much when reverencing the Most High. You can never do too much. It says, be not weary, right? Just like Galatians 6:9. Be not weary in well doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. We got to get out the mindset of thinking that we got to kill ourselves in this society to be successful. I understand that, we don't feel like money is everything, because if you offered me $1 million, but I had to die tomorrow, I would not take $1 million. That means my life is worth more than $1 million. It ain't about the money, right? People want happiness. They want that peace of mind, right? But that's only going to come by the will of the Most High and exalting him and keeping him at the center and the front and the back of everything that you do. But I you.
If you can stay right here real quick, Austin. Brother Azrael, check this out, man.
Not the government,
Salakia. Check this out though, man. It says when you glorify the Lord, right? When you think about glorifying the Lord, man, you know, a lot of things come to mind. But man, it's encompassing everything within the Bible, right? So everything applies. When you think about what beautifies the Most High, right? A man and a woman that agree together, right? And so if a man and a woman agree together, what also glorifies the Lord? It says the children are the fruit of his reward, right? When you read this, it says, when you glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as you can. What's one thing that glorifies the Lord? When we have children, right? And it says, exalt him as much as you can. That means have as many kids as you can, right? For even yet will he far exceed, meaning that he'll bless that womb exceedingly, right? And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength. Meaning, hey, look, you shouldn't be stopping until the nature kicks in and says, hey, that's enough, right? You're supposed to be putting forth all your strength. And that's just one example. But like the brother said, man, no amount of money, no amount of time or any of that should stop you from doing what makes the Lord happy, right? You know what I'm saying? And what makes him happy is the things that make us happy, that that should naturally make us happy, that does not include monetary value or materialistic value, right? Those are the things like family, a woman and a man together, children, right? Those shouldn't have a price tag on it. Those should just come with what it is. Now, I'm not saying move without wisdom, but just know when you do these things, the Most High has your back. When you read this, it says, "For even yet will He far exceed." Right? He's gonna, if you do these things that beautify Him, you best believe He's gonna make sure you have a way to support this stuff. Right?
You know what I'm saying? It says far exceed, so you don't have to lose sleep, like we just read in Psalms 127. You don't have to lose sleep to get what you need. Just praise the Most High God, and He's gonna give you rest and sleep and bless you far more than what you think you deserve. Right? I have plenty of testimonies. I have plenty of testimonies for myself, right? Where I know for the fact the Most High God made a way out of no way. I dreamt about such marriage. I dreamt about such job. I dreamt about such vehicle, right? And then
I had a dream about 2 days ago about vehicle, brother.
And then he gave it to me, right? So He will far exceed the things that you think that He's gonna give you, right? The brother Denal came on here with an ulterior motive to get all y'all pregnant, right? So, hey, look, the brother better be popping out another kid here soon, right? He only got one. You know what I'm saying? So anyway,
all I'm saying is the Most High,
every idle word, brother, every idle word. But check this out. Let's move on, right? Psalms 128:1. If somebody can please read this for me.
The book of Psalms, chapter 128, and verse number 1. And it reads, "Blessed is everyone that feareth the Lord, that walketh in His ways."
Let's go to the next verse.
Verse number 2. "For thou shalt eat the labor of thine hands."
Thou shalt eat the labor of thy hands. Hey, man, the title of this is Plant Gardens, right? That's physical and spiritual, right? You're going to reap the benefits of what you sow. That's Galatians 6:9. We're going there too. But guess what? You're going to eat the labor of thy hands. Just like the Most High God said in Revelation, "Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give to them according to their work shall be." Paraphrasing, right? So that labor, right? You're gonna eat. If you plant in bad seeds and you get bad fruit that come out of that, you're gonna eat that, right? You can't afford not to eat it because you have nothing else to eat. But if you plant good seeds, you're gonna get that good fruit, and you're gonna eat that, right? So what is your reward gonna be, right? Keep reading.
"Happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee."
Right, come on. When you plant your garden, hey, you're gonna be happy because you kept the Most High God's commandments. That's physically and spiritually, right? You're gonna be happy that you started that garden physically when all hell breaks loose and there's nothing in the grocery store. You're gonna be happy when you plant that garden spiritually because you get the kingdom, right? Keep reading this.
Verse 3. Thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thine
Right.
house.
Hey, look, there go. Hey, I know Ashton like that. I mean, brother Denal like that. Had to
Like
get the
the
brother back.
government.
Hey, had to get the brother back now. You know what I'm saying? We throwing governments out. Had to get the brother
Now
back.
we paying recompense.
That's folly, bro.
But check this out. The brother like that, right? The brother was going into being fruitful and multiplying, right? Fruitful. We're talking about gardens now, spiritually fruitful, right? When the Most High God say plant gardens, he's talking about spiritually too, right? Start your family. Be fruitful and multiply, because somebody has to create righteous people on this earth, right? Thy wife shall be a fruitful vine. The Most High God is going to bless your wife's womb, right? If you keep his law, statutes, and commandments, because he knows, okay, if I bless this brother's womb, guess what? I can trust his seed. I can trust his teaching. I can trust this man, right? So guess what? She's going to have a fruitful vine. Keep reading.
Con, thy children like olive plants round about thy table.
Right. If you know anything about olive plants, man, that olive oil, those olive plants, that olive tree, that's the children of Israel. Those two witnesses that's wrecking havoc, causing havoc on the earth, turning the cities upside down as a witness, those olive trees, guess what? That's us. So the Most High God is prophesying right here, right? Let's go to the next verse.
Verse number 4. Behold, that thus, Salakia, that thus shall the man be blessed that feareth the Lord.
That what?
That thus shall the man be blessed that feareth the Lord.
And you got to fear the Lord. And if you fear the Lord, you're going to do as he says.
Right.
Let's move on to Jeremiah 29. Somebody got to say? Go ahead.
Just like it says in Proverbs 18 and 21, going back to Psalms 128 and 2. Hey, look, death and life is in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Once again, you got to understand, like, when it comes to talking about planting, it's spiritual and physical, right? Hey, the Most High commanded these things, but just like the brother just told Brother Donald, every idle word. Hey, look, every idle word you speak is a seed that you sow, right? And you're gonna eat the fruit thereof. So be planters more than just in the womb. You know what I'm saying? I think my wife has a healthy womb. That's per our doula. You know, she told my wife she got a healthy womb. So I stay trying to be in there and being fruitful and multiplying, right?
And we know she got a healthy womb, bro.
Yeah,
everybody knows.
Hey man, be quiet. But anyway,
this is building a nation.
Right. Hey, look, I'm trying to build a nation, man. If I can go, the sister said she had 13. If I can have 12, hey, I'm doing good.
Hey, that brother planting gardens, man.
Oh, praises, man. I want that for you.
If you like it, I love it.
Hey, check this out. Let's read this. Jeremiah 29:5.
Hey, this is Jeremiah 29:5. And it said, build ye houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens and eat the fruit of them.
Right. So Psalms 127, Psalms 128, we just read. It was a good segue into the topic of today. Build ye houses and dwell in them. Right. So when Jeremiah was prophesying to the children of Israel at this time, he was telling them, hey, look, the Most High God had you go into captivity. The Most High God had Babylon conquer you. But even in the midst of your captivity, the Most High God is telling you, children of Israel, build ye houses. A lot of us, we don't even know how to build a house. A lot of us, we don't even want a house. We want to be in the city, in an apartment, in a loft, right? We want to live by ourselves and have our own business going. We don't want kids right now. We don't want a family structure right now. I want my Mercedes. I want to spend my bills on me. I don't want to build houses, right? I don't want land. It says dwell in them, right? A lot of us, man, we don't even get to dwell in our house because we're too busy trying to get the bag. We're too busy trying to flaunt our money. We're too busy always on the road, always in the club, always in the mall, always doing something. We're not dwelling in our houses. The Most High God said, build houses and dwell in them. We're doing the opposite, right? It says, and plant gardens. The title of this video, Plant Gardens. That's spiritual, right? We're finna go into the spiritual meaning of building houses and the spiritual meaning of planting gardens. And it says, and eat the fruit of them, right? There's double to that which is, right? You get benefits for building actual houses, and you get benefits for building your house, right? If I could speak as a man, I feel like building houses, that's up to the man. When you set your house in order, right? You building that spiritual house for you, for the kingdom, right? And guess what? You dwell in it. And I feel like the women, they plant that garden, they keepers of the house, they have that fruitful womb, right? And guess what? As a couple, y'all gonna eat the fruit of them, right? That's me speaking as a man. That's not kind of, I guess it's kind of what I'm going into, but I'm gonna pull out some precepts to kind of help us understand the spiritual meaning of this, right? Somebody could read what she said.
It says, when I tell you, YouTube University will teach you how to build off-grid places, ready to pick up the drill. They don't, no cap though. YouTube definitely is a better source of. You can get a lot of information from YouTube, and people sleep on it. But man, YouTube University can help me learn how to do a multitude of things. I broke a door handle one time. I ain't know nothing about fixing a door handle, and guess what? YouTube University.
Building houses.
Hey, look, I want to say, hey, sister, you gotta be careful, man, because picking up a drill, that could go into, women, not doing what pertains to a man, Nah, I'm playing, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I encourage that, man. There's sometimes, women, you can roll up your dress, roll up your skirt a little bit, and pick up them drills, man. Pick up them paint brushes, and put some work in too. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Now I'm not saying pick up something that's super heavy or nothing like that, but hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with using your hands too. If you got a husband, man, and if you prefer him handle those type of things, ain't nothing wrong with that. But there's plenty of women out there that's getting it done, man. So I do definitely encourage that.
She cut you. That's a cut.
I thought working with the hand.
Hey, look,
that's a cut.
She didn't cut me because I just said I was joking, and I pretty much said exactly what this is saying. Man, more power to you.
Yeah, she cut you. But anyway, let's read this, right? I got a plethora of precepts. We can move through them pretty fastly, but we just kind of have to have our hands to the plow.
This is Psalms 119 and 37, and it says, "Turn away mine eyes from beholding vanity." And
right. So right here, we can finish that out.
And quicken thou me in thy way.
Right. So we have to ask the Most High God. We got to pray to the Most High God to what? Stop having us look at vanity all day. We on Instagram looking at vanity. Oh, I'm trying to get like that, brother. I'm trying to get like sis. Sis is doing it, right? I got to turn my eyes away from vanity, right? God, please do that, right? And quicken me in thy way. Teach me how to do the things that you want me to do. The things that you taught Adam when he walked the earth with you. The things that he taught Enoch when he walked the earth with you, right? Elijah, right? Abel, the things that you taught them, teach me how to do those things. Don't let me keep beholding vanity, because if I keep beholding vanity, I'm going to keep wanting to do that, right? So we have to pray that God does that, and that's how we're going to be able to build our houses in captivity and plant our gardens in captivity, right? Let's go to Proverbs 30 and 8. Go to Proverbs 30 and 8. Right? Stop trying to make TikTok videos. You're in the truth. Nobody in the truth should be doing TikTok dances. Right? Nobody.
Why can't I do that in my pastime though?
Right. I mean, hey, my thing is this, right? Do what you need to do in your pastime. Right? But why are you doing that TikTok video? You don't got to record it. You recording it 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, not 10 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, people trying to get famous on TikTok. People trying to tell everybody they can move, right? Our people should be quickened in the way of the Most High God. All that time you did learning that, all that time it took for you to learn that TikTok dance, guess what? You could have been on YouTube, like the sister said, YouTube University, learning how to garden, learning carpentry, right? Because we don't know none of that. Our people don't know none of that.
Right. Hey, before the scripture is read too, I just want to say, look, that's a mighty point though, because see, while we sitting up here learning how to Corvette, you know what I'm saying? You got to think about it like this. There's other nations of people training their children how to take care of land, how to shoot, how to work on cars, you know, how to write a check, understanding about how to budget in the future. Our generation our people are so far behind the I wouldn't just say Richter scale because I think that's what they use to measure hurricanes, right? But our people are so far, no, earthquakes. But our people are so far behind in really training up our children how they should be. We really don't have time to waste, like the brother is saying, even in our pastime on, just learning how to do TikTok.
Right. If you think about TikTok too, the people that created TikTok have banned TikTok in their country. That should let you know something. Because guess what? They're preparing for war. They're learning math. They're creating fake suns, putting a fake sun in the sky. Right? But if somebody read this for me real quick.
And this one, before it is read, I want to just say that no, the brothers from the Hopeful Elect is not saying you in sin for watching TikTok or doing TikTok dances. So if you say that about us, you're bearing false witness because we did not say that. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
If I may add too, man, I can't count how many brothers my age, right, or even younger, you know what I'm saying, that are of melanated people like us, man, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that have never gone fishing before. You know that wise saying where it says, you teach a man to fish, he can eat for the rest of his life. A lot of us don't even know how to fish simply, right? There's so many people that don't know how to fish. I was watching the episode of The Last of Us, right? And it's an apocalyptic TV show, and they're starving. Everybody's starving. It's so cold. There's no animals out or anything, right? And finally, the little girl, she saw a big buck, a big deer in the woods, right? She took her I'm gonna call him her old man. Took her old man's rifle, went out there and shot her a deer, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the little things that's gonna matter, you know what I'm saying, when those times roll around. Do you know how to fish? Do you know how to hunt? Do you know how to survive without depending on this Western world that has what's the word I'm looking for? Spoiled us, right?
Gone. For sure.
This is Proverbs chapter 30 and 8, and it says, remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me.
Right. Stop trying to live so bougie, man. Stop trying to live so comfortable all the time. Right. Remove that vanity from you. Right. The luxury. Right. Stop giving into trends. Right. Stop following a multitude to do evil. Remove all that vanity and lies. Everybody wants to say, "Yo, you're a conspiracy theorist." Remove the lies, right? The conspiracy theories 9 times out of 10 are the truth. It's the lies that you need to remove so you can understand that it's the truth, right? Because you're into vanity. You're into societal norms. You want to be you want to have a political party. You want to belong to this organization. You want to look like this in the eyes of men. That's vanity. You're just trying to look good. It says, give me neither poverty nor riches. You shouldn't. Hey, look, you should live right at a means to where you can sustain your life, right? A lot of us, I just had this conversation ago with one of my parents. A lot of us, you get into a different tax bracket and you still broke because all your expenses rise up with your tax bracket. So that's why the Most High God said, hey, look, don't give me riches because I'm not going to know what to do with them. I'm just going to have more expensive and more bills. And it's like I never even raised the tax bracket, right?
It's going to take me away from the Father.
Right.
Not only the Father, it's going to take you away from your family.
Right. Feed me with food convenient for me, right? When you plant that garden, right, and you're doing that garden out of the sincerity of your heart, spiritually and physically, right? When you plant that garden and it's good seed, right, the food that comes from it that you reap, it's going to be convenient for you. The Most High God made a promise of that, right? So from here, we're going to break down building houses, the spiritual meaning, and then we're going to break down planting gardens, the spiritual meaning, right? Let's go to 2 Kings, right? I know a lot of brothers don't get precepts out of 2 Kings, but this one right here was cold, right? This is a cold precept, right? 2 Kings 12 and 12.
This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 12, starting at verse number 12. And it reads, and to masons and hewers of stone, and to buy timber and hew stone.
Let me start at verse 11. See what that say. And they gave
2 Kings 12 and 11. And they gave the money.
Hold on. The word. Okay, Con, you can start here.
2 Kings 12 and 11. And it says, and they gave the money, being told, into the hands of them that did the work.
Right. So who doing the work? Whoever doing the work gonna get the money. Right. Keep going.
That had the oversight of the house of the Lord.
We have the oversight of the house of the Lord. The Lord's telling us to build houses. That's spiritual, man. That's physical too, but it's spiritual. Here they're building the actual house. They're building the house of the Lord, but it's still spiritual, right? The Most High God don't dwell in a temple made with hands, but guess what? He'll have a physical house like he did for King Solomon and for the nation of Israel, but spiritually, we're the overseers. We are the ones in charge of the house of the Lord. So when we're building these spiritual houses, you have your own spiritual house. You have your own spiritual house. I have my own spiritual house. And that all makes up the house of the Lord, right? We got to do it decent and in order. That's what it means to get your house in order, right? Back in the day, well, throughout scriptures and precepts, right? They would say, get your house in order when you were about to die, right? I believe one of King David's advisors, when he thought King David died, right, and King David fled into the wilderness because his son rose up against him, he went home and got his house in order, the precept said, right? I believe Hezekiah, when he was on his deathbed, the angel told him, get your house in order, for you shall surely die. So a lot of times right before your end is come or salvation is near, you're going to be told, get your house in order. So now that we're living in the last days, it's time to get our house in order, right? Because guess what? He's coming back. And if your house is not in order, if you didn't build your house for the Most High God, he going to cast you down. Keep reading.
It says, and they laid it out to the carpenters and builders.
Right. So guess what? Hey, look, we got to be carpenters and builders. That's spiritual. When you read that Christ was a carpenter, don't just read over that. That's spiritual. Christ built that. He raised up that third temple. Right? We got to keep building. Everybody say, put your brick in. You got to be a carpenter. You got to be a builder. Build houses. Right? Keep going.
That wrought upon the house of the Lord.
The house of the Lord. Build houses, man, because we build in the house of the Lord. Whether it's your personal house, your family is a part of the house of the Lord. Right? Let's go. And I'm glad the brother had me pull up the Apocrypha, because now I can go into this. Well, actually, I guess the Apocrypha left me, so I have to go get it again. But we're gonna go into 2nd Esdras, right? 2nd Esdras, 14 and 13.
Hey, you know what? That was just prophetic, right? Because like we said, we had the Apocrypha pulled up. If you don't put your brick in, if you don't plant, if you're not a carpenter, hey, look, that Apocrypha gonna leave you. Just like the wisdom of the Lord, it'll leave you, right?
Through the Spirit.
If you don't walk with wisdom, hey, she gonna leave you. That's what it says in Wisdom of Solomon.
Through the Spirit, man. The Spirit has everything happen for a reason. Right? Somebody can read this real quick.
This is 2nd Esdras chapter 14 and verse 13. And it says, now therefore, set thine house in order.
What did it say?
Set thine house in order.
In the last days. These are instructions for the last days, man. Keep reading.
And reprove thy people.
What does it look like to get your house in order?
Reprove thy people.
When he said build houses, he's talking about getting your house in order, right? Part of that is reproving thy people, evangelizing, right? Even in your immediate house, your son is acting up, reprove him. Your wife acting up, reprove him. Your husband acting up, reprove him, right? Keep reading.
Comfort such of them as be in trouble.
Right. And guess what? Reach out to the blind. Spiritually, they blind. They can't see. Show them the truth. Reach out. Comfort those that are homeless. Right? With charity and alms. This is all about getting your house. This is building a house. Right? You can build up an actual house, but building the house of the Lord is building up the nation back together. We have so many of us that are lost. So many of us that are down bad. We got to build our house back up together to be a mighty nation again, right? Through the help of the Most High God, through the help of Christ. And guess what that help is? His word. And we have that word, and it's unlocked to us. Shout out to the Najib Melchizedek, right? Keep reading.
And now renounce corruption.
Renounce corruption. All that stuff that we used to do, don't do it no more, right?
With corruption and renouncing corruption, man, that's making sure that what we're standing on does not fade away, right? When you talk about burying somebody's bones, that their bones don't see corruptions, right? You're burying them together. You know what I'm saying? The people that their bones did get corrupted, right? You know, that's where you see people, they don't have their full body intact, right? Some of their bones was buried over there. Some of their bones were buried over there. Somebody might have been beheaded, right? Sometimes the bones start to deteriorate and just go back into the earth, right? This is corruption, right? And so when we renounce corruption, we're making sure that what we're saying is solid and it gets passed down and it doesn't start to fade like it did back with our forefathers and foremothers when they started doing this stuff. And then we just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then before you knew it, man, we really didn't even know how to live like we was in the truth no more. Thank God that, you know, he's waking up a new generation that he has shown no signs to, right? Our forefathers, our foremothers had signs and they still was going off. He woke up a generation that he showed no signs to. We ain't seen no miracles. We ain't seen no shriveled arm be made whole again. We ain't seen no blind get sight or anything, right? And we're repairing the breach and we're starting to live the way we're supposed to live by the spirit and power of the Most High God through his son, by Shema Mashiach Yahushua.
Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Hey, if you could read this, because this is going exactly to what the brother's saying, right? This is how you renounce corruption right here.
Joshua 24:14, right? Joshua is the best book I've read thus far. But Joshua 24:14, and it says, now therefore fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in truth. And put away the gods which your fathers served.
Right. Stop worshiping your ancestors. They did it wrong. Stop that ephah stuff. They did it wrong. This is how you renounce corruption, like the brother's saying, repairing that breach, removing the foundations of old, right? It says, put away the gods which your fathers served. They were not perfect men, right? Keep going.
On the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord.
And what?
And serve ye the Lord.
That's how you build a house for the Lord, is serving him, right? It's a building is an action, right? Serving is an action, right? That's how you build a house for the Lord. Let's read this verse 15.
Verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve.
You gotta choose whether whose house you gonna build. You gotta choose who garden you gonna plant. Because guess what? There was another tree in the Garden of Eden, right? There was another tree there. So what's your fruit gonna look like? What's your sacrifice? Your sacrifice gonna look like Cain or Abel's, right? Keep reading.
Choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods of which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, but as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
Hey, Joshua was saying, hey, look, y'all can either follow me or y'all can go back to what y'all ancestors was doing. But me and my house, me and the nation of Israel, the children of Israel, God's chosen people, we will serve the Lord. And that's what we got to say, even in our intermediate homes, right? Your family, you got a family member acting up, you say, nah, we're going to serve the Lord. You can't eat that, we're going to serve the Lord. You can't have that lifestyle, we're going to serve the Lord. Everybody want to have that cliche taboo question. What are you going to do if your son says that he's this way? What are you going to do if your daughter, hey, I'm going to tell them this household serve the Lord. If you're not serving the Lord, you got to get out. Hey, they're not going to know it. They're not going to know that what's good for them unless you reprove them, right? So when you're building your house, it's spiritual and physical, right? We're going to serve the Lord, man. When you put your brick in, it's got to be for the right reason. Let's go to the New Testament, 1 Corinthians, right? We all know this one, 14 and 40, right? Salakia, moving slow. 1 Corinthians 14 and 40, man. It's a staple for the nation.
1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 40. Let all things be done decently and in order.
Decently and what?
And in order.
And what does it look like to be in order? Men, hey, look, if you don't provide for your family, that's not in order. You're worse than an infidel, right? Men, if you don't love your wives and you're not bitter towards her, guess what? You're not in order, right? You got to be blameless in this thing, man. Women, like the brother was going into, you worried about getting a bag and being an independent boss woman. You worried about, getting that dream apartment with the granite countertops. I'm guilty. With the granite countertops, right? And your Mercedes, right? Or your Jeep Wrangler lifted up, right? You worried about all these things, right? You're not in order. You're 21, 20. You're missing out. The fruit of your womb is expiring, right? Because the world told you to focus on something else. That's why I said earlier in that precept, you got to pray to the Most High God that your eyes don't behold vanity, and quicken me in thy way. What's thy way? Let's get an example right here, right? Let's go, right? Everybody knows about the Proverbs 31 woman, right? But let's go to Titus 2. Let's talk about my Titus 2 women, right? Titus 2, let's start verse 4.
Through the Spirit, we went over that today. This is the book of Titus chapter 2, and it reads, starting at verse number 4, that they may teach the young women to be sober.
Right? So check this out. This is order. Order. You want to be decent and in order as a woman? Order, right?
You start at verse number 3. Con. This is Titus 2 and 3. It says, the aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers.
Right. We got a lot of older women. I've experienced it. Now, just being open and honest, I've courted women in the truth, and I've experienced counsel from older women, or I've heard older women give counsel to women, right? And they were false accusers. Don't even, like, for example, wouldn't even know me, and I know other brothers have been through this too, wouldn't even know me, but somehow I'm a child of the devil. Somehow you're false accusers. A lot of older women don't have nothing to do with their life. They were planting gardens. They would have something to do, but they're false accusers. They don't do stuff that becometh holiness. They want to keep eating the way that they eat. They want to keep gossiping the way that they gossip, right? Being false accusers, right? Keep reading.
Not false accusers, not giving too much wine, teachers of good things.
Stop watching Tyler Perry, eating your dinner with wine, thinking you're sophisticated. You got to have wine every day. Dang. Right? A little red wine is healthy for the gut. Stop trying to get drunk every day, listening to slow jams. Right? Be an older woman that is holy. Keep reading.
Teachers of good things.
No, bad things.
Teachers of good things.
Know how to keep a man. That's
teachers.
A good thing. No, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I was going to say, that's typically a good thing.
How to trap a man. How to trap a man. How about that one?
Teachers of good things.
Right? All that taboo, superstitious stuff that older women teach young women. Guess what? That's detrimental, man. That's not helping our community. Right? Verse 4.
That they may teach the young women to be sober. Right?
This is how to be in order, young women. What should you be?
That they may teach the young women to be sober.
Right?
Who love them.
Look. Nowadays, not in the truth. Nowadays, right? Our older women, you know what they're teaching the younger women? You better find your tolerance before you get to college. I don't need you not being able to hold your liquor. You better find your tolerance. Come on, we're gonna have a girls' night. We're gonna test. Come on, let's go on this cruise. We're gonna test, right? Teach your daughter, your young women to be sober so that they can think wisely, right? So that they don't ruin their life. Right? Keep going.
That they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands.
My gosh. To love their husbands. First of all, our women don't want husbands. First of all, our women don't even think about husbands till they 35.
40.
Right? Our women don't even want boyfriends. So how can they be taught to love them? Right? You are causing your mom to have a stroke. You causing your mom right now to be so anxious because she's like, she don't think she ever getting grandkids. That's because at a young age, you were not taught to love your husband. You saw some fighting in your home when you was growing up, so you kind of pushed it off and said you're not ready for it. Yeah, that's part of the curses. But when you get in this truth and you read the Bible, you gotta crave a husband. The Bible says that's a reproach if you don't have a husband. A lot of our women, I seen a tweet the other day. And the tweet said, I don't like a lot of these lessons and a lot of these sermons that churches preach, where a woman pastor tells them to be in a season of singleness, right? Because he said this. He said, because it's teaching our women that they don't need a man in life, that it's teaching our women to go against what God created them for, right? And my thing is this. A lot of women, just because they don't want to submit, they'll rather say that Jesus is my man. Jesus is my husband, right? But Jesus ain't your husband. Jesus didn't have no wife, right? His lot was not to be married. Guess what? The Bible is teaching you that you need to be somebody's helpmate. You were born on this earth to produce righteous children. So since I said that,
hey, check this out though.
Hold on one second. Let him finish that out, and I'm gonna let you say your piece.
It says to love their husbands, to love their children.
Come on, man, love their children. Go ahead.
No, what I was saying, man, we all know that love is an action word, especially when it comes to this Bible. And I like this, man, because everybody always says, the Bible never tells a woman to love her husband. It says that it tells the man to love the wife, but then why is this telling you how to? It says that the women should teach each other how to love their husbands, right? Because it's a requirement for the women to love their husbands, just like it's a requirement for men to love their wives, right? But love is an action word. And we find out what love is through these scriptures, right? Through these law, statutes, and commandments, through what the Most High has ordained for your lot as a man or for a woman, right? We all have our roles to play. And that's sticking to your role is how you love your significant other. Right? A man gives honor to the weaker vessel, right? He does not get bitter. He understands that she's more emotional, right? A woman, you're supposed to understand that your man is less emotional than you and that he's more logic, right? And with that being said, we always go to it. Go to Proverbs 31, not just for the women, for the men too, right? Hold your man accountable to that Proverbs 31 man. Hold your woman to that Proverbs 31 woman, right? The more you strive to be like that, the more you will show love to your significant other. This word love is an action word we have to get in our mind. Not only that, love your children. A lot of people don't want to have this conversation. How do you love your children? It says, hey, if you love your children, you will not spare the rod. If you love your children, you will keep them in straightly if you see them going a whoring. If you love your children, there's certain things that read Ecclesiastes, read Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, right? It'll show you how you love your children. This is biblically how you love your children. You might have your own opinion on how to love your children, but the Bible never gives false wisdom, and it's the best wisdom. Your wisdom is not going to out wisdom the Most High. Right?
You can't get wisdom from the world and be in the truth, right? And this all goes into what? Building your houses in your land of captivity. When we're building our house, right? Once we learn actually how to build our house, because a lot of us don't, right? When we're living in that house, our spiritual house has to be according to the scriptures, man. This is the last precept on building a house, and then we're gonna go into plant gardens, right?
1 Timothy 5:14. I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully.
Right? Like I said earlier, it's a reproach. But what I want to emphasize here is guide the house. Right? A lot of men think they're supposed to guide the house. Right? Oh, this is a cut. The women, if you are decent and in order and you are walking in your purpose according to God, the whole duty of man is keeping the commandments. But if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're gonna guide the house. You're a big part of getting our houses in order too. You're a big part of building houses in our captivity, right? they will target you to disrupt the house, right? Not the, hey, look, the kids, they'll target them later. That's like that's like a conditioning for the kids. The men, all they got to do is X the men out, but they got to target your mind psychologically, and that's how our houses are guided. You want to know why our houses are so corrupt right now? Because they have guided our women astray, and our women they don't guide the house, and now the house is just off the loose, off the chain, right? So these are some things to think about when we're building our spiritual house, right? Physically, right? We had tent makers. Paul was a tent maker. Aquila and Priscilla, I believe, were tent makers as well. Physically, we had carpenters like Christ and his father, right? We had that. So we got to get back to that as well, right? We had craftsmen and masons that were blessed, hands that were blessed to build the house of the Lord. So we got to get back to that, because the Most High God did bless our hands as a people to be innovators, to be builders, right? So we got to get back to that too, physically. But spiritually, these are some things we got to think about. So let's go into planting gardens now, right? We almost done. Planting gardens. We're going to start out in the book of Matthew. All right, the book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 16, I believe. Con.
This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 16. And it reads, ye shall know them by their fruits.
By their what?
By their fruits.
Planting a garden, man, it's spiritual, right? He said, hey, look, even in the land of your captivity, plant gardens. Guess what? You got to still keep like the sister said earlier, because we're in the land of captivity. Brothers be like, we in the land of captivity, I got to work on the Sabbath. No, you still got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments in the land of your captivity. That's building a spiritual garden, right? Keep reading.
Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles?
Right. You want good fruit. That's what that's going into. You want good fruit. You don't want corrupted fruit, right? You don't want to go to a grapevine and there's thorns. That's not normal, right? You want to be able to pick the grape off the vine, right? So going into planting gardens, right, it's spiritual. When we plant our gardens, yes, we got to learn how to plant gardens too. Physically, double to that which is. We've been saying that the whole video. But spiritually, we're gonna reap the fruit of our labor, right? Let me get this, right? I said we was going here, right? This is another staple. It's another staple, man. Galatians 6:9.
God, it's the book of Galatians, chapter 6 and verse number 9. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not.
Right? The whole Bible is written really with a theme of husbandry and planting gardens. When it says we shall reap, it's talking about reaping the harvest, right? This is all spiritual though. Don't grow weary in well-doing. Even in your land of captivity, build a house, plant gardens, right? Don't grow weary. Don't stop keeping the commandments just because it's getting hard. Don't grow weary, brother. Don't grow weary, sister. You're doing well. Don't give up now. Keep doing it. That's what it's doing. It's encouraging you to keep fighting that good fight, right? Sometimes there's bad seasons to plant gardens, right? But guess what? If you keep going out there every day, checking on the ground, tilling the ground, watering the ground, and look, the Most High God said, guess what? Even though it was a storm, even though there was a famine, he's going to far exceed, like we read earlier, he's going to far exceed, and he's going to give you the fruit of your labor, man, spiritually and physically. Let's go here real quick. Matthew 9 and 37. Go back to Matthew. Let's go back to Matt. Matthew 9 and 37. If somebody could read that for me, please.
The book of Matthew, chapter 9, and verse 37. Then saith he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous.
The what?
The harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few.
Right, man. That garden is plenteous. It's a lot. It's a lot of garden. Talking about the kingdom, man. The kingdom is set for us, but ain't nobody trying to build the kingdom up. So that's why the laborers are few. Everybody's too worried about vanity. Everybody's too worried about building their own personal garden. They're worried about their own harvest. They don't want to be a part of this harvest. But when the Most High God said plant gardens, he was talking about contribute to the harvest, man. It's not too many people that's planting gardens physically.
Yeah, think about it.
People planting gardens. That's why everybody's gonna be in chaos when grocery stores and things like that start shutting down. Right? You have something to say?
Man, you got to think of it like this, man. Think about any job site, right? Any job site where you got a lot of work to do and you got few laborers. Hey, the ones that are in this thing, man, there's few of us. It means your reward is gonna be that much bigger, right? Think about a job site that has a lot of work to do but a few workers. The less workers you got, the more pay you can divvy out. It's few of us, but hey, your work is not growing in vain. The precept that the brother brought out before this, grow not weary and well doing, for you shall reap the harvest if you faint not. It's a few of us in this thing, man, but I guarantee you, if you keep digging, right? If you keep digging for that gold and you don't come up short, you're gonna hit that gold mine, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be worth it in the end. You know, we read earlier this week, I believe, or last week, a precept that says, "Hey, no matter what, don't let nobody take your crown." You know what I'm saying? Endure to the end. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you trying to endure to the end because it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it. You just gotta hold on.
You can read this. Oh, look, it's like it. You can read this for me.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 13, and verse number 19. It is like a grain of a mustard seed.
Right. What is it talking about? It's talking about the kingdom, right? Keep going.
Which a man took and cast into his garden.
Into his what?
Into his garden.
Do you have a garden, brother? Do you have a garden, sister? Right? The whole Bible is speaking of husbandry. That's part of our culture, right? We got to plant gardens, man, because ultimately, when we say double to that which is, we mean the physical brings about something spiritual, right? Meaning, if you have sheep, you'll understand what it takes to lead a people. We see that with Moses, see that with David, we see that with all the people that were keeper of the sheep, right? If you have a garden, you'll understand the fruits of the spirit. You'll understand patience and how to take care of something and how to be kind and love and be gentle. You'll understand those things if you actually adopt the culture you're supposed to be in, right? Keep going.
And waxed a great tree, and the fowls of the air, and waxed a great tree.
None of us have ever planted a tree before, man. Well, some of us have, but the majority of us, we've never planted a tree before. We don't know what that's like. We don't know how much time that takes, right? We wouldn't be able to understand this parable of faith, right? Because we have not witnessed this. We can read about it, but are we really waiting 5 years for a tree to grow? Do we understand the patience it takes to plant gardens? Right? That's why we got to get back into these things, right? Even in the land of our captivity. Keep going.
And the fowls of the air lodged in the branches of it.
Right? So, like I said, man, the kingdom, faith, it's all spiritual. And it's compared to gardening, right? We have to get our gardens in order as well. I want to go here real quick. Back to the Apocrypha.
And just to point out, man, you know, you plant that tree, you know, and it waxed a great tree that came out. So you receive your reward. And it says, the fowls of the air came and they enjoyed of it too, right? Meaning, just like we were talking about earlier, man, don't worry about the woulda, coulda, shouldas. Don't worry about how you're gonna be able to support your family, how you're gonna be able to do X, Y, and Z. If you do what you're supposed to do, right, the Most High is to have it. It's gonna have it where, hey, look, you're gonna get your reward, and then you're gonna be able to support those people, right? That's those fowls of the air that's gonna come and enjoy the fruits of your labor, right? He's gonna make a way to support all of everything that he has ordained for you.
Right? Salakia. And this is the sister whose video we played at the beginning, man. Planting gardens, coming back to our culture, our heritage, right? If you could read this, Ecclesiasticus 7:15.
Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 7:15. Hate not labor's work, neither husbandry, which the Most High hath ordained.
Right? How can you really understand how to be a husband if you're not in the husbandry? You don't know how to take care of livestock and take care of the land, right? You don't know how to care and have patience, right? That's why the Most High God said, hate not laborious work. Man, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Nowadays, everybody, we want to be remote. I'm guilty. I wanted to be remote, right? But our people, they wasn't remote. They was getting out the house. Warriors were going to war, right? The king was settling matters within the city, right? Hate not laborious work. Go ahead, plant your garden. Your sheep get lost, go find them, pick them up, and bring them back. Hate not laborious work, man. Build houses. Be a carpenter. Be a tent maker, right? Women, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty in the dirt to become an apothecary, right? Figure out what medicines will help your people, right? Figure out what fruit is the healthiest for you, what vegetable, what herb, right? Hate not laborious work, neither husbandry. The Most High hath what? Ordained this. Everybody wants to be an ordained minister. Everybody wants to be ordained high priest, chief priest. Everybody wants to be an ordained bishop or an elder. Everybody wants to have a new Hebrew name. The Most High God said, come back to husbandry, right? Plant gardens, spiritually and physical, right? Let's go here real quick. We almost done. Psalms 128:2. Right, this is the last precept. It's like here. Psalms 128. And I believe we already read this, but going back to it, right?
Going back to the book of Psalms, chapter 128, and verse number 2. And it reads, for thou shalt eat the labor of thine hands.
Of your hands, man, whatever you do, you put your hand to the plow, you working in that harvest, you in the garden, right? You're going to eat the labor of thine hands. So if your labor is trash, you're going to eat trash, right? But if your labor is good, if you're keeping the law, statutes, commandments, right? You have built up spiritual wealth, right? If your labor is spiritual, what's going to happen, right? Keep reading.
Happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee.
Right. And that's why the Most High God told us, even in the land of our captivity, build houses, plant gardens, right? I went over a few physical building houses example, right? So a few plant gardening examples would be like I said earlier, Abel, hey, look, he was a tiller of the ground. You know what I'm saying? That's our people, right? We had, like I said earlier, apothecaries. They knew herbs. The Most High God told us every herb bearing seed he gave to us, right? We know that there's medicine that we can get from the earth. The Apocrypha speaks about that, right? So plant these gardens, man. We read about good fig, bad fig. We read about the apple of his eye. We read about olive trees. We read about all these things in the Bible. And look, all this stuff, right, is mirrored to teach us lessons. We got to come back to husbandry. We got to come back to build our house, set our house in order, and walk in the ways of the Lord, right? And do his commandments, man. Build these gardens. Plant these gardens, right? Be fruitful. show the fruits of the spirit, man. With that I yield. Anyone got anything?
Con, I gotta add something. Can you go to the book of Psalms, the 144th chapter, and starting at the first verse?
Con.
Right, because I want to end it on this. Even though I know just follow me here, right? This is Psalms 144:1, and it says, a Psalm of David. Blessed be the.
Read it.
Now you good? I can read. But it says, blessed be the Lord of my Salakia. Blessed be the Lord, my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight. Right. And the reason that I'm reading this is because, as well as our hands plant vineyards, the Most High teacheth our hands to war and our fingers to fight. Right. It's more than just like the brother saying. We're looking at it in a physical and spiritual sense. That's why he keeps saying double to that which is. There's going to be a lot of warring and fighting that we're going to have to do, which is why we have to plant our gardens, which is why we have to do these things that we're talking about on going over this lesson. Because why? Laborious work was ordained by the Most High. It's a laborious thing to train for war, man. That's hard. That's not easy, right? But we have to do these things and prepare these things because why? People are going to come against us. You're going to have a necessity to, like I said earlier, to have your own food. But you got to know how to do these things in the physical because, like, everything has a spiritual meaning behind it, right? You can scroll down to verse number 11, right? Scroll down to verse number 11 because I just want to make another point real quick, right? It says right here, Psalms 144:11, it says, rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children, whose mouths speak vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood. Like we were saying earlier, we need to remove far from us vanity, right? We need to remove far from us lies. Right now, we're in the hand of strange children, and these strange children have taught us to take heed in their way of thinking, in their way of living, in their way of eating, right? It's even got, what I'm saying? Like, it's gotten so bad that, now it's becoming a problem within the household, even within our Israelite community, brothers and sisters, So we have to remove far from us these lies. We have to remove far from us vanity, right? We have to cover our ears when they speak these things. Go to verse number 12. In verse 12, and this will be my last verse, right? Psalms 144:12, and it says that our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth. Who are going to plant these plants? We are. Who's going to nurture these plants and help them grow up that the way that they should, like it says in Proverbs 22:6? We are, which is why we have to take heed and understand the importance of planting gardens. It's not just about, girl, I got me some new carrots that's coming out the ground. It's not about, my wife just planted some bell peppers and man, we eating good off of it. We got our own source of food. Think about the spiritual behind it too. We got to know how to do these things because we have to be able to teach our children these things. We have to raise our children up as if they were planted in the garden. What does it say? That our daughters may be as cornerstones, polished after the similitude of a palace, right? This is important, man. We got to see the spiritual behind all the physical work that we do. All the physical work that you put in, planting the garden, look at the spiritual benefits behind it as well. But mighty lesson, man. And with that, I'm a yield.
Con, that's a mighty precept, man. I'm mad. Look, it provoked me to righteous jealousy. I'm mad I didn't get that one. Your son, what do you do? Where do you plant plants? A garden compared to sons to a plant. We're all sons of the living God as well, right? That your daughters may be as cornerstones. Remember, I said they guide in the house, right? What are they the cornerstones of? The similitude of a palace. They build in the house. So we see here planting gardens and building a house. It's all spiritual. David knew this. David was a keeper of the sheep.
God says your daughter should be polished, man. When you go into what polish means, man. Hey man, you gotta polish your seed up. You gotta polish your daughters up, man. So when people look at them from the outside, you know what I'm saying, they look put together, right? They know what to stand on. They're like a cornerstone. They hold things together. Not only is a cornerstone holding things together, right? But it's in the outermost presence of said palace or said house, right? So a lot of times people are looking at those cornerstones all the time. So they gotta be on their P's and Q's. But it's our job to get them there. It's our job to polish them to where they can be that polished cornerstone, right? To hold everything together, and to look good at the same time, right?
Right. And I'm gonna say it like this. It's just like this. When it comes to the role of men and women in the household, hey, men are the owners. Think about a Fortune 500 company. We're the owners, right? But we have CEOs. Our wives or wife, you know, if you have one or if you have multiple, your wife is a CEO of that Fortune 500 company that you built, that you own, right? They got to run the show. The owner is not really doing too much of the in and out of the office every day. That's to the CEOs, to the general managers. You know what I'm saying? However you, whatever you so call it, right? That's why our wives have to be polished as such, as you know what I'm saying, the cornerstones of a palace, right? But hey, mighty lesson though.
Come on, man. Even as a daughter's as the cornerstone being polished, bro, it's kind of like the same analogy. You got a CEO, you got a secretary, right? The secretary, hey, if you go to any establishment, that secretary is always looking put together, always articulating her words, always polite, right? Always holds everything together, right? She knows how to convey things to you on the behalf of the CEO, all of this stuff, right? She's that cornerstone that's polished, right? Sometimes you need that.
Man. But with that, man, we're gonna say shalom. Hope this gave y'all something to think about. And you know, you guys might be like me. When I step outside my house and they building those townhomes on the side of me, I know they probably think, why does man keep looking at us? But man, I'm just trying to learn. You feel me? So I hope this gives you something to think about. Building houses, planting gardens, physically and spiritually. We're the hopeful elect. Shalom.
Shalom.